Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Appreciate you tuning in. Let's talk about the boring cold email hack or tactic. I don't know what to name this yet. That brought us $26,076 in leads in 48 hours. So I'm not going to show a screenshot of my whole Smart Lead CRM because there are client emails there and I don't want you guys poaching my clients. It's being honest. But if you've ever used Smart Lead, you'd know that it looks like this. Well, this is their new CRM system, and this is what we brought in about 48 hours. 48 hours because it's a two-step email campaign sequence where the second email goes out literally 48 hours later. And so as a result of these campaigns, there was two campaigns actually that we ran in parallel, launched at the same time. Just copy and offer, stuff like that varied slightly. And it brought us about 26 grand in sales pipeline. A lot of which we are closing. We have several meetings booked. It's actually been a record month for us, both in every metric really. So reply rate, positive reply rate, conversions to meetings booked, meetings closed, clients onboarded. So it's been a good month. And it's only the 11th of July, and we've beat our record in every single metric, and this is why I'm sharing it with you right here, not holding anything back. So if you watch any of my videos, this is what I always refer to. It's the cold email money printer blueprint that I built. This, I'm pretty sure I built this live on YouTube. If not, I built it for a YouTube video. Just rewind about 2 or 3 videos from this one, and look at the thumbnail will say cold email money printer on it if you're looking for it. If I haven't refreshed the thumbnail when you're watching this. But anyway, so this is what we do. This is what we use for ourselves and for all of our clients. And if there's ever a time where, and we built this by trial and error and mistakes. So all of our mistakes we would correct. And then once we start to see that things are turning around for the better, we documented what we did in here. So this has allowed us to just have continuous success, especially with the clients that we work with, staffing and recruitment, financial services, so on and so forth, agencies. So it's here, and we give this to our clients. I should probably put this in a freebie for you guys watching this as well. But nobody talks about what I'm about to talk about. Actually, a couple people do. I'm not gonna lie. Daniel Fazio talks about this. Matthew Larson talks about this. So I used to run a coaching/consulting business, and we had to go how I would get clients is I would put out content on social media, right? And it got to a point where I got so sick of that because I didn't want to have to put out content to get clients. And so that was one of the motivating factors for me to start building Vintascale, because I wanted to just double down on, I didn't want to have to post every day in order to get clients. And so we use cold email, and this is the same way we get clients for ourselves is the same way we get clients for our clients. It just works, right? So this is what made all the change here, is posting content on social media. So I don't think there was a dramatic difference, to be quite honest with you. I mean, because everything turned around in about a month for us, and now it has like a hockey stick sort of trajectory here, and I'm very grateful for that. But I don't think anything major changed with copy, because when I look back on some of my earlier campaigns, the copy wasn't horrible. Nothing major changed about how we target. I mean, we really started focusing on boutique firms, so 3 to 10 employees, give or take a few. We did refine our offer. We did refine our copy, actually, so let me not lie to you, but I would say that what has made the biggest difference, especially in closing clients, so once they get on the phone, once they get in a meeting with us, the biggest thing in terms of actual revenue generation, so turning this 26K from sales pipeline into actually cashing it in, has been the success multipliers right here. These multiply your success, right? So I wish I started doing this earlier, because there is this a lot of talk about the folks who run the biggest agencies and businesses in the world, they don't have much of a social presence. And that was true, and that might very well be true. I don't know. I don't have any data to back this up. The only data I have to back what I'm about to get into is the fact that we are having the best month of our agency. We're a young agency, but we're getting results. So I think why we're getting results is because we had these success multipliers. Now let's get into them. We'll break this. We'll break this down bit by bit and discuss why it's so important. Okay. So see how I put the screenshot of the to back up what I was saying. So that is a form of social proof, right? That is a form of social proof, like this. So I'm running Loom campaigns, right? I'm running Loom campaigns, which are great for building trust. And one of the things that I'm focusing on doing, remind me, by the way, I should put this here. And we're going to call this conversion strategy. See, this is exactly how I built this conversion strategy. Conversion, zoom in, strategy to meeting. Well, actually, it's kind of one of the same with that. All right. So social proof. So we've been sending looms, and when we send the loom, one of the key pieces about that loom is going over the social proof that we have built up. So we would go over to, in the loom, I'd go over to my website. It's very bare bones on purpose. And we would just scroll through this. And there was a time, so I don't have any client testimonials on my website as of right now, like video interview testimonials. I have a bunch of screenshots, right? What I'm doing though, and this is for a lot of beginners out there who don't have the client testimonial interviews. Hopefully that will change for me and by the end of this month. I'm sure it will. But what we've been doing is just adding our own internal case studies. So the same things that I'm publishing right now, and this video is essentially a case study. The same things we're publishing right now, we would post on our website, right? So the number one thing is to get client video testimonials. If you can get that, golden, that's what we're aiming for. And we take on clients we know we can get results for, right? Social proof, if you don't have this yet, this is how you do it. This is how you build up social proof. You make a bunch of videos going really in depth, talking about whatever it is that you do. And when you do that, the more you talk about it, the more you start to become associated with that thing. So in my case, lead generation, in the mind of the client, the more authority you start to have. So the more you talk about something in depth, the more authority you start to have, which is why I do like half an hour to hour long videos on these kinds of things. So notice I'm not talking about campaign management. I'm not talking about copy. I could be talking about conversion strategy because that's one thing that I'm focused on right now. How do I wanted to make it this color right here. It's a nice color. I got to figure that out. Anyway, I should just copy paste it. But notice how I'm not talking about campaign management. I'm not talking about copy, nothing fancy with the subject lines. I'm not talking about how we source the leads or going from Apollo to LinkedIn Sales Navigator or Crunchbase or wherever it might be. I'm not talking about the offer, even though the offer was a huge contributing factor to things turning around for us. I'm not talking about our deliverability or how we warm up or nothing like that. I'm not talking about how we make sense of the analytics, nothing like that. What I'm focusing on is stuff outside of that, because what happens is you're going to send an email, right? So you're going to send an email to someone here, right? So this is a screenshot of an email that I sent from this campaign we're talking about. And what they're going to do if they're remotely interested, or if they're even considering it, what do you think they're like? The first thing they're going to do is they're going to go to google.com. They're going to look up first name, last name, so Pablo Melandu, and then my company name that I put in the signature, so Ventiscale. And they're just going to look and see if this person is like some kind of scammer or stranger, what they have. Like, they're going to see what you're all about. They want to know what it is you got going on. Like, does this person do this for real? You know, cold traffic is already hard enough. You're fighting an uphill battle. You make it exponentially easier for yourself if you don't be a ghost, if you have some kind of social proof. So how you can build social proof, again, is putting out videos or content in general. So I post on LinkedIn, I post on Twitter. I should be posting on Instagram. It's just there's a lot of noise on Instagram. It's noise. There's a lot of noise lately, which is why I get in and get out. But posting stuff about like how you would do X, or how you just turn around your positive reply rates for your company, right? Look at my videos and just see what I'm doing, because it's working for us, right? Like, I built a campaign live just to prove it's not luck, or even if it flopped, I would have just documented what we learned. In fact, in every case study, I have a section for, what went wrong and what we could improve. So, and you just position yourself as more and more and more of an expert every single time. So that's what I would do if you don't have any sort of client video testimonials. Not as good as client video testimonials, because client video testimonials are undeniable. But if you can build stuff in real time and take people along for the ride, or at least document your journey on YouTube, it's very valuable. Like, it's not as valuable as this, but it's a lot better than having nothing, because you might write like two people, and Daniel Fazio said this best. Two people send the same campaign, same copywriting, same offer, same everything, right? Same infrastructure, same deliverability, whatever. But one person A has no presence on social media whatsoever. Person B posts content all the time, is out there, is very visible, very easy to find and search and verify that this person actually does what they do. And person A and person B both reached out in a cold email. So a total stranger. Who do you think they're going to work with? Person A, who has no social proof or social presence, or person B? It's 1000% every single time person B, right? So that is a success multiplier that is working out really, really well for us. So how you would search in Apollo, how you would scrape leads from Apollo, how you would clean them in Clay. I'm still putting this stuff out. I'm still putting that stuff out. Tutorials, internal case studies. Internal case studies should be separate. Whoops. Because what happens is, and this literally just happened to me yesterday, which is why I'm saying this, is you're going to get on a sales call, right? And you need to be able to show some sort of authority. And so what happens is, because you're posting all this content all the time, number one, you're used to talking about it. You have a rhythm going, whether it's the buzzwords or what's important. Like, you're just used to talking about it. You don't stutter and flop, and your offer inside out, your process inside out, because you talk about it every day. You talk about it. It's like you pitch it and pitch it and pitch it in every video and every tweet and every LinkedIn post. You pitch it. So you're used to talking about it. So you get on these sales calls, and now you don't have to really stick to a script. You don't have to stick to a script, because you know your stuff inside out, and you know what to look for. You know what questions to ask. And then what happens is, you can go onto your website and say, hey, look at these case studies we put out. We put out a case study every single day of how we doubled our reply rates and fixed deliverability, how we're booking 5+ meetings a week, how we 11.5 extra cold email reply rates, how we, you know what I mean? Like, you can continue to talk about this stuff. And these are your own internal case studies. But especially if you're doing lead generation and cold email or cold calling, it's not like you're using cold email to get them and then you're doing something totally different when you're with them. Like, no, we do cold email for ourselves and then we do cold email for our clients. Now, regardless if you do cold email or cold calling or lead generation or not, social proof is going to help you a lot, right? Because like I said, like, you are going to be able to pull up your website and say, hey, I feel your pain. Because the client's, like, this is how we fix it. Because the client is going to come to you. There's a reason why they're coming to you, right? They can't do it on their own. Things are unpredictable for them. They tried your service on their own. It didn't work. They tried outsourcing it to someone else. It didn't work, right? They don't have time. Like, there's a real pain there. There's a reason why they're coming to you, and they're going to tell you. And if they don't make it obvious, you're just going to keep asking, okay, so where's the pain? Like, what's going wrong here? And they might say something like, well, yeah, we did try sending cold emails. It just didn't work because we couldn't figure out why our emails kept going to spam. Boom, infrastructure. I pulled this chart up in my sales calls. I did so yesterday. I pull this diagram up and I say, hey, I totally get it. We actually train our own internal team using this. Like, we don't have this problem anymore because we figured it out on our own. We documented it so often and we tweaked it and refined it so often that we actually just have a process now that we know works. It's just foolproof for dummies. And this is the exact way we're getting responses is by following this. And if you want further proof of that, we document that live on YouTube. Like, we record everything we do. So you can watch those videos and do it yourself, or you can let us handle it. But just know, like, this gives you undeniable proof and reassurance that we know what we're talking about and we can fix this for you. Like, we don't have this problem, right? This is what we do. If you have an offer problem, if you think, it's something about your offer that isn't being well received in cold email, you're just getting a lot of not interested responses. I mean, we have been through that. So we will phrase it in a way combined with our copywriting, which we go really right. Like, we've documented this stuff and we're able to show that to clients. And so this is why it's a success multiplier, right? It allows me to not even need a script. It allows me to just sit back and just have a real conversation because I have all this, like, it's in our favor now. We have so much social proof that we've somehow gone from cold to warm, almost, right? Even though it's been over email, like, we've gone from cold strangers to warm because they Google me and they see all of this stuff. And I want that for you if you're just getting started, or if you're using cold email. I want that for you because it feels really nice. And we're getting a lot of responses and nothing magically changed about anything else but this. Perhaps our offer, but this. It's a success multiplier, right? So it's not going to make your thing like 20% better. Like, it's going to make it like 3, 4, 5x better and easier for you to sell and to get responses, right? So social proof, meaning case studies, even if they are internal, tutorials, so how I would use Clay, how I would use Apollo, whatever your tutorial would be for your own industry, how I would do X, right? I have a video very similar to this that I'm putting together. Social presence. So this is really just speaking on the topic as often as possible. I put out 3 to 5 tweets and 3 to 5 LinkedIn posts per day. Be everywhere, because the best thing you can do is just index yourself into Google. Just keep putting yourself into Google search by putting out content, tweeting, posting on LinkedIn, especially with ChatGPT nowadays. Like, give it an idea, let it write the post for you, give it some feedback, and you're good. Or just tweak it at the end and you're good. Now, here's a really big thing, okay? Landing pages. So one of the things that we're having to do with our clients is coach them on this stuff. Not coach, but just give them our 2 cents. Just consult them very professionally about it and say, hey, if you don't have any of these things, like, we're going to get you leads. You're going to be busy. That's our goal. But if you don't have these things, this is oftentimes what prevents people from closing leads is this. Unless your offer is such a no-brainer, and we help people with offers too, right? Not create them, but just tailor them, just refine them, polish them, at least in terms of how they're copywritten over email. But if you don't have any social proof, social presence, landing pages, it's what I said before, and I really feel like that's a source, that's a reason as to why a lot of people can't close leads. Even lead generation firms themselves, it's just because you don't have any sort of social presence, social proof, and your landing page isn't great. So my landing page, and I showed it earlier, but I'll go back to it in a second, is very bare bones. I'd like to refine it. However, I have this thing in me that says, you know what, like, if you can't make it work with a very stripped down, bare bones version of either your offer, your email, anything, your landing page in this case, or your website, whatever you want to call it, if you can't make it work with that, you're not going to make it work with some fancy website. Now, I do want a fancy website, but that's down the road. So things are starting to turn around for us without having like this beautiful website, but the quality matters a lot. And when I say quality, I'm talking about like the information there, the VSL, the process, how we work. I don't even have an FAQ section on my website, which I have to do, and I have that on I don't have it on my to-do list, but it should be. Where's my pen? I don't know where my pen is. It's all good. I'll write it down later. But here, let's go to the Vince Scale website so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Again, so offer statement in the headline, nothing fancy. We got a VSL that I gotta re-edit. 7.5 minute VSL that I gotta re-edit. Case studies right away. Some internal case studies. What makes us different, how we work. That's it. What's included for your campaigns, and that's it. That's it. Right? So that plus a Loom video, right? And let's just look at this. Let's look at it this way, right? This will make a lot more sense. Hold on, let me do this. This will make a lot more sense. Okay. All right. So let's say these are levels of proof, right? Let's do it like this. Trust. We're going to call this trust. I wish someone sat me down and explained it to me in this way, right? Trust. Now, let's say to build enough trust for someone to buy from you, they have to be at least over an 8, at least an 8 out of 10 on the trust scale, right? Meaning that they have at least 80% confidence that this is going to go their way. Right. And it's probably closer to a 10. They have to trust you at about a 10, but we have things like guarantees, 100% refunds and money back guarantees, no questions asked, and a legally binding contract if we don't do if what happens isn't what we say is going to happen. Right. So that helps us a lot. But let's say you need 10 trust points. Right. So first off, the Loom campaign is one. The Loom campaign is one trust point. Should I put it here? I'll put it here. Right there. So that's one. Then the internal case study. So you send them a Loom, right? Send them a Loom they see for the first time. Okay, great. And then, before that, scratch that. Before that, so I offered to send them a Lumen a cold email, right? And before they even respond, they Google me. Okay, they're going to Google you, and what they're going to see is they're going to see your website. All right, so they're going to see your website and landing page. Okay, so they're going to see your landing page right here, right? So they're going to Google Pablo, and they're going to see, oh, Pablo. They're going to see my LinkedIn come up in Google. They're going to see Vintascale, blah, 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 right? They're going to go to my website. They're on the landing page now, and they see these internal case studies. Great, okay. So now they're checking these out. They're not going to watch them because like they're an hour long, but they're going to see those internal case studies, and then they're also going to see a video that says, you know, let's say I send this to a financial advisor, right? They're going to see how I would build a cold email campaign for financial advisors. They're going to see that video, right? So this is one trust point right here, right? Is the fact that I have a website. They're going to see a second. They're going to see my internal case studies and how we boosted our reply rates. The fact that we actually do this thing, how we generated, you know, a few $1,000s in leads. That's another trust point. So we're at 2. You know, how they're going to see something, a video catered directly to them and breaking down how you would do something, even if you don't do it yet. So that's 3 trust points, right? And then they're going to say, hey, send me the Loom. So you're going to send them the Loom. They're going to see that it's not totally, you know, it's not automated. Like you made it, right? So that's maybe 4 or 5 trust points right there, right? Especially if your offer is good. So this might get you 1 to 2 trust points right here. Let's edit it like this, like that. Okay. So right now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're at 4 to 5 trust points here, right? And then they're going to think about it. They're going to think about it. And we're not even including testimonials because a client video testimonial adds like 4 to 5 trust points on its own. You get 1 or 2 of these, you're good, right? They're going to see that. Then they're going to wait. They may not respond to your first email, right? They're not going to respond to your first email. And so you're going to send them a second email, right? They might wait a couple of days, but you're going to send them a second email. And what they're going to see is, wow, he not only is he persistent, but I looked him up on LinkedIn. This time I checked his LinkedIn out, and he speaks on the topic often. This time I checked out his Twitter, right? And he tweets about this a lot. He's tweeting about these case studies, and like what I saw on his YouTube channel is actually real because he's posting it on LinkedIn. He's posting it on Twitter. Like it must be this thing, right? And so let me check out the VSL, right? The video sales letter, right? Let me go back to their website. Remind me what you do again. Let me go back to their website. Let's just watch the VSL. Oh wow, the VSL, okay, gives me a good high level overview of the process. It's intriguing, right? It's intriguing. It seems like they know what they're talking about. So what happened is you went from 4 to 5 trust points. You added 1 here. You added 1 here. So that's 6, 7. And then even if your VSL is garbage, you're at an 8 now, right? You're at an 8. So now it's really hard to mess this up when they come in at an 8 out of 10. It's very hard to mess up that call. Either they lied about where they are, or you didn't do enough qualifying, perhaps in the email or the, what's it called? The booking form. You didn't qualify well enough. Or maybe it's just not the right time. Maybe there was some kind of miscommunication when they got on the call, but this is, they're at an 8 now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus another 1 from the Loom campaign. They're at an 8 here. They're at an 8, right? They're at an 8. And an 8 is what takes them to jump on the call. To close, I mean, this is a whole other video, but we like using calculators, like growth calculators, right? So we have calculators that we use to, should I show it here? I'll hold off because it's internal, it's proprietary. But we run the math right in front of them to show them exactly what they can expect in terms of ROI and profit. It's really easy to do. It's really easy to calculate. Like if I book you 5 meetings, it's $100 a meeting. For example, you paid us $500. You close at a 20% rate. You close one of them. So you paid us $500. We got you 5 meetings. You close a deal with one of them, and that deal is worth $5,000. Well, you just made you brought in $5,000 worth of revenue. You paid us $500, so you profited $4,500. So we essentially, you gave us $500, we gave you $5,000, and you pocketed $4,500. So it's really easy. The math is really easy. Now there are some cases where the math doesn't make sense, and in that case we don't proceed, because what do we want to do? Take on a client we can't get results for, or who's going to end up in the negatives and then not leave us a great testimonial? We don't want that, right? But anyway, that's a different conversation. This is what changed things. So there's a trust meter. And this is why people do newsletters. I got to do my newsletter, but that's for later. It's not for right now. It's a trust thing. It's a trust thing. It's a trust thing. It's a trust thing. And please don't ever think that people are not looking you up. They're looking you up. Like, imagine getting a cold call from a stranger. Imagine getting a cold call from a stranger, and they're like, "Hey, I'm Rob from Rob's Duck Cleaning. I want to offer you this, that, the third. What are you going to do? You're gonna say, okay, cool. You send me the info. Here's my email address. Send me something. But you're not going to commit, and you're probably not going to commit to anything right then and there. You might say, yeah, I'm free on Wednesday. Let's book it in time. Sure, but you're not going to show up to that meeting without making sure that this person is not a scammer. You're just not, right? What you're going to do is you're going to Google them first off to make sure that Rob's Duck Cleaning actually exists. And so, if I see that, like, moving forward, because you need all of these things to make cold email work, to make cold outbound work, period. Whether it's cold calls or cold emailing, you need all these things to make it work. And if all these things are present and it's not working, if you don't have any sort of social presence or social proof or case studies, this is why it's not working. This is why. It's because you are operating at like a 1x multiplier. So you're only as good as your emails. If you want to operate at a 5 or 10x multiplier, so you can have your emails that are on a level 1, but it feels like a level 10 opportunity for them. Well, then, like, it feels like Gary Vee is emailing them, and that's a stretch, but you know what I'm trying to say. Well, then you need to have these things. It's just non-negotiable. And I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have started this sooner, just to see what the impact would have been. But it's trust, right? So I'm going to add this in to the tree here. Right there. And I'm going to make... I don't want to make the whole thing smaller. There we go. Trust. And great, cool. And then we're going to take this and we're going to move it kind of right there. That should work, right? Yeah, that should work. Cool. So that's really the gist of it. So that's the boring cold email hack that made us $26,076 in leads in 48 hours. So what I'm going to do, I should break down the videos. But if you notice the videos that I'm putting out, this is like, I'm revealing a lot of internal stuff, but that's by design, because I want full transparency and undeniable proof of what we're doing and how we're getting results. So again, this campaign here, we built it live. I was falling asleep while I was doing it. We built it. It's on YouTube. Rewind about 3 or 4 videos. And then we reviewed the campaign analytics. It very well could have flopped. Like, this could have started to flop. The positive reply rates were insane, but the reply rates were not good. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to touch anything, but this is where my head's at right now. And we built out this whole tree on video, right, as to what I would change if this doesn't go my way. No need to feel embarrassed. This is an ongoing case study. And then what happened was when these two campaigns completed and they were at 100% completion, the reply rates jumped, because email 2 was a banger. Like it was excellent. It was really well done, and the positive reply rate shot up too. Like this positive reply rate here, I believe, is at 50, something like that. It's like a high 40s, but double or triple. Well, the industry average, I believe, is about it's a 20% positive reply rate. Someone let me know. We were at 15, and then now it's at between 45 and 60 positive reply rate. So out of every 10 people who reply, between 4 to 6 people are like, yeah, we're interested. And if we're emailing, right now we're saying this week we've been at 1,000 emails a day, but we have the infrastructure to send over 3,000 emails per day. That's another thing is lead sourcing. Lead sourcing. We need more leads. We're gonna have to get more leads. And that's the issue now. Is we've built the engine with a lot of horsepower. It's printing money, literally. We built the engine. We build this engine and install it in our clients' businesses. Now we just need more gas. So that's where we're at. But this is why, like, funny how the boring cold email hack isn't copywriting. It's not subject lines. It's not deliverability or anything like that. It's this. It's transparency. It's social proof. It's FaceTime. That's what I truly believe is making all the difference. Just going into the minds of these prospects and going into my own mind, like what I would do if someone random reached out to me with their company name and title and blah, blah, blah. I immediately go and just look them up. And it makes me wonder how much of our earlier troubles had to do with our copy, or had to do with our leads, or had to do with our offer, or had to do with deliverability issues. We wasted a lot of time blaming a lot of things on infrastructure. And that's the easy thing to complain about is, oh, my deliverability is low. We need new inboxes. I remember we paused Vintascale. We didn't run any campaigns for about 3 weeks. This was in June. We didn't run any campaigns for 3 weeks because we threw away all our inboxes and all our not our domains, but we threw away all our inboxes and just decided to start again. Right? No bueno. So June was tough. July, we're onto something. We're back in business. VSL is a must-have. It's important. I mentioned that earlier. I'm not a guru on how to make VSLs, but what I did was I've made 3 or 4 versions now. 1, 2, 3 for sure. The original one, and I just model people. I model people who are doing well in the industry. You don't have to make a VSL from scratch. Just copy the VSL that someone has and tailor the information to you and your business. The first one I made kind of sucked, but I modeled it after someone. Second one, I modeled it after someone. Third one, and I'm changing it and adapting it as the offer goes. And I got to measure this stuff too. Maybe one day I might be able to go in more depth about VSLs, but for right now, just literally copy the VSL of someone in your industry who is having success. The VSL is a must-have, all right? Because that adds, I'm going to say, that's a 2-point. That's a 2-pointer right there, right? The Loom as well, you got to have this scripted. Don't wing this. You wing it, it's a 1. You script it, it's a 2-pointer there, right? So now you're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You could be at a 9 if your looms are scripted. And then that goes back to conversion strategy. Cool. Is there anything else I'm missing here? I believe that's it. All right. Well, thanks again, guys, for tuning in. If you run a B2B business and you'd like us to set up your cold email infrastructure and or manage it for you for 35 days and guarantee you 3 meetings, or it's a full one to prove that it works for you, or it's a full 100% refund, money back guaranteed, no questions asked, legally binding, click the link in my description and just book a free consultation with me, and we'll see if the math makes sense for you and if it's right for you. Other than that, if you have any questions, just leave a comment. See you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.